I mean, this dude was full naked. He was in the nude. He was in his birthday suit. Hello to those of you watching. Thank you for watching. Welcome to another Talk Tuesday video, which I am beginning to really love doing Talk Tuesdays. This is not clickbait. This is a real story. It really happened to me. But it's not as serious as it sounds. Steered you wrong just a little bit. But I did want to talk about what I want to start doing on Talk Tuesdays, which is more serious. So last night I filmed a video with a good friend of mine. We talked for an hour about her religion because her religion is controversial. I was really curious about it and wanted to learn about it, so I reached out and she said, yeah, let's do it. And then we filmed everything, and then I think she decided it just wasn't best that I share it, so I said okay. And I totally respect her and I respect that decision and I respect what she believes in, so I decided to film this. When I was asking for things that you guys watch or things that you would want to learn about or things that you look up on YouTube yourselves, you guys said travel, which I travel a lot and I have a lot of stories and a lot of tips and stuff like that, so I decided to do a story time. Anyways, I guess I'll just get right into it. I was solo traveling to San Francisco. Was actually already in a really bad mindset because I just had a lot of stuff going on. I was really sad. I just wanted to take a trip to get my mind off of everything and just go, 'cause that's what I love to do. So I went. One of the first things that happened to me there, I got off the plane, was just on the train, was like, I don't know where to go because I had never been there before. I didn't know the city and I didn't do any research. It was a pretty last minute thing, so I just kind of followed the bus, and when it looked like I was downtown, I got off. Which in hindsight was probably not the best idea, but it's fine. I got off the train and there was a ton of people on bicycles. It was an event. There was just a bunch of people riding bikes. But I was kind of at this park where there was a waterfront and there was a big bridge, and I went under the bridge and a naked dude on a bike, which I can only assume would be a part of the event he was doing. I mean, this dude was full naked. He was in the nude. He was in his birthday suit completely on a bike, heading right toward, I thought he was gonna crash into me, and I honestly was under the impression that he was gonna crash into me so I would fall and he was gonna do something to me, because it was already dark out, or it wasn't dark out yet, but the sun was definitely going down and we were kind of under a bridge. So he actually just took my bag, took the money out of my bag, and then he didn't run, he got back on his bike, and I was so shook up I didn't do anything about it. A naked dude just ran into me in San Francisco 20 minutes after I freaking got off the plane. So automatically I was already sad, I was already in a bad mood. That happened and I just lost it. I was crying, calling my dad. I think I called my best friend, and I was just dumbfounded and so scared, and I'm so glad nothing else happened, because when a naked dude on a bike comes to you and you're under a bridge and there's not really a lot of other people around, so thank goodness that was all he got away with. Was I think 20 or 40 bucks. It wasn't a lot, but it was my spending money for the weekend. I still had my card. I didn't have much on my card, and I don't think I had paid for my hostel yet, so it was crazy. So that happened. Lucky for me, like I said, I still had a little bit of money on my card, so I went into a Starbucks and I was crying. I was visibly upset, freaking out. And this guy came up to me and he was like, are you okay? And I was like, no, I'm visiting here and I just got robbed. And he's like, I told him, and I thought he was gonna be like, oh my God, but he was straight up, oh yeah, sounds about right. This is San Francisco. And I was like, what? I was so shocked. And he said, yeah, this is just what this city, but he told me what train I needed to get to my hostel. I gave him the address and stuff, and he was really helpful. Yeah, I got to my hostel finally, and it was pretty late at night when I got there, and they were really nice. Everybody was partying and talking, and it was cool. They let me through the garage, and they could see again that I was visibly upset. I wasn't crying at this point. I was pretty over it, but I was still shook up and I just wanted to go to bed. But they were like, no, come have a drink, come hang out, whatever. And I said, okay. And I sat and I was talking to them and everything. And from across the room, there was this guy, and probably honestly mid to late 30s, if not early, no, probably mid to late 30s. We'll say mid to late 30s. And he was just like staring at, you know, when you're at a party, or I guess girls, I don't know how many times guys go through this. I'm sure guys go through it too. People can be creepy. Girls specifically, when you're in a bar or you're hanging out at a party or whatever, and you see a guy look at you across the room and he has that like creepy stare, like, he thinks he's looking at you being charming, but he's really not being charming, he's being a total creep. That's how this guy was looking at me. He came up to me finally and was like, "Can I get you a drink?" And I said, "Sure." He came back and he had already opened the drinks that he had. No, like I thought he was just offering to get up and get me a drink. You know, I didn't think he was gonna come back with opened beers. So I was like, "No," and he's like, "Well, why not?" And I was like, "No, I decided I don't want one." And he was like, "Well, why not? Are you sure? Like, you should just take it." And I was like, no, dude. And the fact that you're pushing is just not helping your case. We were all talking, and there was another guy there from Spain, a girl who was the manager of the hostel, so she lived there. I think that creepy guy was a manager too. Yeah, he was. And there was another guy from the States who was just traveling, and we were all just talking. The two guys and me decided to hang out the next day, and the creepy guy was like, "Well, I have a car and you guys can, you know, I'll drive it or whatever, and we can all go together." But the other guys were like, "Yeah, that'd be great, so we don't have to pay for this and this and blah blah blah." And I was like, yeah. Figured if I was with other people it would be okay. And those other guys that we were with, it was totally fine. So, and in hindsight, I don't judge anybody ever. I always give everybody the benefit of the doubt. Less so these days because of experiences like this one, but I guess in hindsight, looking back, I probably now would not go out alone with 3 dudes. The other 2 were totally fine the entire time. I don't have any complaints about them at all. This one guy though was such a creep, and he knew I wasn't interested. 2 other guys offered me the front seat, and he was like, "No, I want her in the back." Whatever, I guess I'll sit in the back, you know. And I sat in the back, and we were going, and we decided to drive all the way to where the heck did we go? I'm so bad at this. Oh my gosh, where was it? Everybody always has the shirts with the name of it. It's a beach, but it's like a sunny beach. I want to say like Santa Maria, but I know that it's not Santa Maria. And obviously it's not Santa Monica. It's Santa something. Santa Cruz. It was Santa Cruz. But anyways, we all drove to Santa Cruz, which was pretty far from where we were because we were like downtown San Francisco. But then we got there and he wanted to buy me dinner. I was like, "No, it's fine," even though I was broke and starving. No. And then finally he just bought me like something that I wasn't gonna eat. He just did it. I think it was like a corn dog or something. And little do you know, dude, that I do not like corn dogs. But anyways, so then we went back. He was weird the whole way. We got there that night. We were all drinking, all partying, all hanging out, whatever. He was still being a creep, but then he went as far as to switch his bed into a room that I was gonna be in, and I was not having it. That was the time I decided I was gonna go home early. I was gonna try to figure it out. So ready to just be done. I had no money. So I used the very last of my money of what I had for an Uber, and it was really expensive because it's San Francisco and the airport was at least like 25 to 30 minutes away. I think is what happened. I think that's what happened. Because I know on the way there I found a way, but on the way back, y'all, oh my goodness gracious. Crucial part of the story I missed. So I was flying standby and I did not make the flight. I did not make the flight, and I was heartbroken. I was scared. I was freaking out. I was like, out of all the times that I have always made my flights, that is one of the only non-rev flights I have not made. I seriously think I've missed 2 or 3 non-rev flights in my whole, like 3 to 4 years of standby travel. That's it. And I do it a lot. I was like, out of all the times that I can miss a flight, this is the most inconvenient one. Like, this sucks so bad. So I called the hostel and was like, "How much would it be for another night?" And they told me, and I was like, "I cannot afford that." And they were like, "You can pay it later." They were really nice. So they let me pay it later, I think is what happened, or they gave me like a really discounted rate. It was something. And the manager was like, we'll send somebody to come get you. Guess who came and got me? It was awful. It was so awkward. He was so awkward. He was like, let me buy you some coffee. And I was like, no, dude, I don't want you to buy me anything. I was like crying in his car, and he was like, you need to just kind of bulk up about it and get over it. And like, you know, because I had just gone through a breakup, and I remember like just kind of talking to everybody about it, because we were all just talking about relationships that night that I had gotten there. And he was like, you need to just get over it and I'll be your rebound. Just being a total jerk. Like, he was being such a creep. And I was like, dude, are you serious right now? Are you seriously telling me that I just need... Oh, that's what he said. He said, you just need a rebound. You just need to rebound. You'll get over it. It'll be fine. And I was like, that's not even why I'm crying. I'm not randomly crying in your car over my ex. Like, I'm crying because I just want to go home. I have no money. I was robbed. You've been a freaking weirdo this whole time. Like, I'm not having a good time right now. I just want to go home. That's why I'm crying. I don't need a rebound. I don't want your coffee. I don't, like, just leave me alone. The worst. So anyways, I finally, thanks to a really good friend and someone with a really kind heart, they got me a ticket home, and I'm super thankful. And it left a really bad taste in my mouth of San Francisco. And my boyfriend and I now, we had just went a couple months ago back to San Francisco, and it was very beautiful, and it was a great time, and it was